everybody, it's Debbie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you'll see something that you like, maybe something that inspires you, or just, keep you company while you're doing your own art or whatever it is you're doing. So anyway, I finished up October on my last flip. So I'm going to start here with November. I am journaling right now in a happy planner setup, although I'm not really doing the planner part. I love these. I think I may have mentioned this before. This is the other side of their monthly divider. And so it's got a place here for you to write birthdays, things that are important, and what you're currently doing, currently reading, planning, watching, whatever. So I do like that. I like that part of it. And then they have the whole month spread calendar. They have places over here, it's like a to-do list, I guess, or something, and I just take scrapbook paper and cover that up. And then the first didn't start until Thursday, so they had all these blank little square planning squares, calendar squares, whatever you call them. So I put stickers in those. I did a lot of stamping on here, a lot of washi. Just wrote in some stuff about the weather, or if I happen to go to lunch or dinner with somebody. I did write some of the prompts in also, especially the 5 on Friday prompts, because they come up in the group, and then when I get ready to do them, I can't always find them, so I just started writing them down here. Anyway, I put washi around the edges. I really like the way it turns out. I like the fact that I get to use a lot of my stickers. And it just kind of looks pretty. But anyway, so here are my pages. On this page, I made a little, I just basically looked around my table. I had a bunch of scraps. Well, if you could see my table, it's a really mess. And it's always like that. I think I've said that before. But I had just had, some fallish stuff on my table that I had not been able to use. And I just picked them all up and just kind of made this little collage here. I really like that. I like the way it turned out. I wrote down here scraps from my table. I've had these little kitten stickers, I don't know, at least a year. I used to be a member of, I don't remember the name of it, but it was like a sticker club where they'd send you a sticker pack each month. And I wound up, discontinuing it because a lot of it was just tiny little stickers that I guess if you do a planner, maybe they would work. I don't do a planner. But anyway, they did have these cute little kittens. I don't have cats. I don't have any pets. I do like cats. So anyway, I just went ahead and put them on here. There's no particular purpose for those. I just wanted to use them, and they are cute. This was a Friday, so there was a prompt, and it had to do with leaves. And so I really love the way this came out. The prompt was to go out in your yard and collect some leaves from your yard. And then put Mod Podge, or collect a leaf. I picked up a bunch because I wasn't sure what I wanted to use. And then you were supposed to put Mod Podge on the front and the back and let it dry and then put it in your book, which I did Mod Podge them, but I just didn't like, they still felt really smooth and not smooth, what do I want to say, pliable or whatever, and maybe that's the way they should feel, but I was afraid they would just disintegrate in the book. So what I did was, after I got them all, the Mod Podge, that's a hard word to say. After I got that done, I just took the whole thing to my printer, copier, and just made a photocopy of it. So it still got the great texture look that the actual item had, but then I'll have to worry about it going bad. So I really love the way that came out. I kind of just put making it look turkey-ish, if that makes sense. Like this is his little head, and there's his little wings, and there's his body. I know, stupid. So anyway, the next prompt was do a leaf rub, which I did right here. Then use a leaf as a template and cut it out of a book page, which I did right there. You can't really see, I should have outlined it. You can't really see the difference between that and the background. And then journal about my weather, which I did. And then I also did a little bit of doodling here around the edges. I actually, if you look at the other page, which has no doodling, I actually like the doodling better. It is a messier, more cluttered looking page, but I think it just really finishes off your edges where you have nothing. So I've been trying to doodle more, so hopefully you'll see that more often. I may forget to mention it though. Not really much. I've been talking about this cold/cough I had had for eons that never seemed to go away. And then this picture came up in my, in your Facebook feed. It comes up, shows your memories or whatever. So this picture came up of my son and I from 2011. And I wrote on there, look how he's got such a baby face. Yes, I know that was like 8 years ago. So he was like 22-ish, something like that. And then I put on there, I definitely have more wrinkles now. Anyway, I just love that picture. I think it turned out really well. I cut around it. The background was, we were eating out somewhere, so I just cut around it and used a jelly print to put the picture on. On this page, I was whining about the fact that the clock was changing and it was going to be an extra hour of darkness at night. And I had so many people on Facebook are like, just enjoy it. Blah, blah, whatever. It's cozy. Stay home. Get under a blanket. Christmas lights are coming. And so I wrote on here, this, listen up. This is a little notepad thing I got somewhere. I said, I do not like when the time changes back, and you cannot sugarcoat that for me. Christmas lights are great. Cuddling up on the couch with a blanket's great. I don't care. I'd rather have the daylight. So then I also tore this off of the front, peeled it off the front of a Bath and Body Works soap that says more summer please. I had just finished it up on November 4th from the beginning of the summer, and it smells so good. If you ever get a chance to get this watermelon lemonade, I'm not a big fan necessarily of that particular watermelon or lemonade, but the smell of it, it's so good. It's like smelling summer. And it says more summer please, and I wrote on here that every time I use it, I look at the label and I say, yes please, more summer. I know that's kind of stupid, right? Just one of those weird things that every time I look at it, I was like, yes, I want more summer. So this was Geography Awareness Week. And so all the prompts, which I did not write down, were centered around geographical things. It's like you're supposed to either draw or show a map of where your state is. So I put that there. I live in Georgia. Then hopefully this will be in frame. They had a thing to go to Google and GPS your address and get the latitude and longitude off of it. So I just kind of outlined my house there because you can't see it because of all the trees, which might look different now that I've had trees taken down. I should go back out and check that out. And then I had written this, I don't even remember what the prompt was for this day, but we have this place in one of our city close to me. It's a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they have this big, huge chicken on the building. Hopefully you can see that. So I wrote, yes, you're in the South when everybody gives you directions as if starting from the big chicken. Like you're just supposed to know where that, like everybody in the South just knows where that is. I forgot, I should have written it on here about how many feet high that is. It's huge. You can't even imagine it by looking at the picture. And then this one was just like fill in your state bird, state flower, state tree. And then some facts about your state, which I really enjoyed. I spent a lot of time looking up stuff. I didn't use everything I found, but I enjoyed looking up stuff and finding out stuff about my state that I didn't know. And then I used this globe washi tape. I have never used it before. I think I've had it for 2 years, and this is the first and probably the only time I used it. But it worked well with that. This was another 5 on Friday, and the prompt on that kind of went along with the geographical thing. You were supposed to create a signpost, which I used, I can't remember what it was. It was a little scrap off of something else to make the post, and then I used different pieces of jelly paper and scrap paper and whatever. So you were supposed to create the signpost, list your favorite place, the beach. The last place I went, Panama City Beach, any place I drove through and want to explore more. I put Alabama. That's really the only state I drive through. From Georgia to Florida, I drive through Alabama. And I know some members of the group are in Alabama, and they were talking about some things there. So I thought, I should explore that rather than just drive through it. And other places I want to visit, the Grand Canyon, Hawaii, and California. Then I had this little, I'm going to not be able to think of the word. You know what I'm talking about. This stuff. And I had this little photo. I had this card that I have had forever. And I just happened to have run across this little picture, so I stuck it on there, moment in time. And then I journaled on the back about how much I hated that haircut. Anyway, this was not, I never showed this in the journal group because technically it's not a daily page. Technically in the Fauxbonichi group, if you're in it, you already know this. You have to put a memory on the page. Not a memory, I'm sorry, a daily happening on the page. Not even memories count, really. You have to put down something you did that day. That is the clause. And it doesn't matter what else you put on your page. You can put anything you want. You can have one sentence about your day. And you can even actually color or draw or something from your day. You don't have to put actual words, but it has to be a memory. Dang it, I keep saying that. Not a memory, a daily happening. But anyway, so even though I created this that day, it had no daily happening on it. So that's all my rambly way of saying this wasn't in my the actual group. I used a stencil that I got from Stencil Girl. I love this stencil. These are meant to look like trees, I think, on the stencil. And then this round thing would be the sun or the moon, whatever you wanted it to be. I did the face stamp on here. So anyway, I used the stencil on my jelly plate, and I pulled off several of it. And I love the way it looks. Then I went through and I just so happened to have the yellow there. I don't know, it just kind of worked out that way. So I stamped this face on it, and then I put a little bit more yellow on it and just kind of blended it in. And then I, needed to finish it off with something. So I went on Pinterest and just Googled moonlight quotes or something. And this one came up, and I really liked that. I should have probably done something other than my handwriting, but oh well, live and learn. These two pages were created from items that my grandsons picked out for me. I love to do this when they come over. Somebody had done this in the group a long time ago. Basically, you were supposed to go to someone in your home and ask them to pick out 5 things for you to use on your page. They don't live with me, but when they're here, I ask them occasionally to do that. And I'll put them in little baggies and put their name on it. And then on a random day when I don't have a prompt or something else to do, maybe a lot of other things to write about, I will pull those out and use those on my page. And it causes me to be a little bit more creative and to use things that I normally wouldn't use. So for instance, my grandson Logan picked out this leaf stamp, which I think I had only used once before. He picked out this little deer magazine paper. I think this is a platter from Pier 1 or somewhere. He picked that out. I've had it in my stash forever and always wanted to use it, but never really came up with an idea. He picked out the washi. He picked out some netting that I was going to use. Well, technically, I guess I was going to use it for, I used it with my distress ink and just kind of squished it on the ink and then made an edge to it. And then there were some Q-tips in my painting stuff, which I used to just draw lines on my paintings, but he put the actual Q-tip in there, but I just used it with paint and made little dots on the page. Anyway, so that was that page, and then this was the page that my younger grandson Jackson picked out. He picked out this card for me to use, and I put on here, I love that he picked the net card, such a little boy joy. And then on the back side, I just collaged some scraps from my table. He also picked out this jar, so I put that on there. The washi, the grass stamp, the little music stamp, which just caused me to, I listen to music every day. That's what I listen to while I journal. So then I just listed who I was listening to. So anyway, I thought that was really, they actually turned out really well. I really liked the way they turned out. And then I think this is going to be my last spread for this video flip. This was Veterans Day observed. So I just pulled out all my patriotic stuff and tried to use up as much of it as I can. This I had just recently gotten this washi here from Michael's. It was like in the 33-cent bin. Snagged that right up. And then there was also a prompt for to get some USA facts, which I found very interesting. You know, I don't usually know stuff like that, and I probably promptly forgot it, but it was interesting to read. Made this little tag, kind of a red, white, and blue tag. I had some red, white, and blue paper. You can't really see much under there. This was like a little scrap off of a, you know, when you tear something out of one of those ring-bound books. And then I had a little bit of this pulled off, so I just used that. And then that same week, I think, yeah, right before Thanksgiving, my aunt sent me this card, which has got the little patriotic thing on it. And she even wrote on the back. But anyway, it just went I had just gotten it, so it went perfectly with my little patriotic page. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the flip and weren't too terribly bored. I would really love it if you would leave me a comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, if you saw anything cool, if you want me to talk about anything in general, particular, whatever. Anyway, that's it. So I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.